welcome back to episode
three
of Old Heads, Young Minds podcast. I'm Allison Fine.
I'm Robert Penner.
And we appreciate you sticking with us. First two episodes were fun. Second episode, I know, was heavy. I hope you got through it, and I hope you're good, and I hope you did some self-care after you listened to it. But this episode is going to be super exciting. We're so excited. We have our first guest today, right? We're going to get into our first section, which is called...
You good?
You good? So we're going to introduce our guest. He is another comedian on the scene, but he's so much more than that. So... look, I'm fucking up already. Let's just introduce Jojo Blacco.
What's up? God damn it. Hello. How are we? Hello.
So I said I fucked up already because let's be clear in pronouns. My pronouns are she, her.
Well, my pronouns is they, them, and that motherfucker.
I'm he, him.
He's he, him. So yeah, I fucked up already.
It's all right. We're here now.
We're all learning. Everyone's learning. Even as a queer person, we talked about this the other day in the car, right? Like, as a queer person, it's hard sometimes to remember alternate pronouns. So I apologize.
It is okay. What I've learned is that it helps if you just think of people who have plural pronouns as like businesses, because you always refer to Wendy's as them, right? You want to be like, I'm finna go get some Wendy's. I'm finna go see what she talking about.
What kind of business are you?
A queer one.
So Jojo is actually our first guest on the pod.
Woo.
That's exciting.
Very.
And even though I'm the queer, I actually wasn't the first person to put Jojo's name out there. It was actually Rob. So
Yeah, I did. I mentioned, hey, it's Pride Month. Let's celebrate someone in the mafia.
you said, pick the gayest person we know.
Let's pick the gayest motherfucker that we have ever come in contact with. I think that is only appropriate.
Yes.
That's not what he said. You guys. That's not what he said. But he did say it's Pride Month, so let's pick somebody that, is in the community. And so we were talking about a few people, and then when Rob said Jojo, I was like, yes, Jojo Blacco is the one. So our first segment, Jojo, is just called You Good. It's where we introduce our guests, which we just did, and then we just kind of check in on our mental health, because Robert and I are both older. We've had a lot of life experience, a lot of trauma, and so mental health is really important to us. So, are you good?
I am good-ish.
You wanna talk about it?
Do I want to elaborate on how good I am? I'm pretty decent at the current moment. I am currently dating, so I guess that's like a good mental thing. I feel like I'm not alone out here in these streets anymore. That helps. Makes me feel a little good about life. Should I say more? Just give me that look like,
sometimes,
elaborate.
No. I want you to say whatever you're comfortable with, so...
I'm open motherfucking book, so ask me whatever.
That's good. No, dating is good. Dating is good. Having some kind of partner in life and having good friends, having human contact. There, I don't know if you guys have experienced, but I know a lot of people, but I don't feel like I have a lot of friends. Sometimes.
Man, that's real.
So it's
that's
like,
what I was going to kind of...
People always say, oh, you're so popular, you know so many people. And I'm like, meh. Yeah, but there are still days where nobody fucking cares what I'm doing in life.
No doubt.
There are weeks when nobody cares. So, having someone that is, whether you're dating them or they're your friend or whatever that relationship looks like, having someone that's bringing you some kind of joy is a good thing. So good.
It is.
Are you good, Rob?
I am good now, but on that same topic, I was having those moments this past weekend, just being lonely. And just like you said, I know a lot of people, but I don't have a lot of friends.
Right.
And you don't always want to be the one reaching out. You want someone to reach out. And it happens. But also everybody's busy at the same time. So you got to understand it. But
that brings up a question actually that might be appropriate in this segment, which is like, do you think when you're in a bad space, do you think it's fair to reach out?
Yes. I think that's when you should reach out the most, in all honesty. Like, if you're in a bad space and you're feeling like you're just kind of just like overwhelmed, whatever the case may be, I feel like that's when you should be reaching out to other people. Because sometimes people don't know that you're going through shit.
Yeah.
They're not going to know until you be like, hey, I'm having a fucked up day.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Like, you know, people don't know until you put that first foot out there.
That can be hard, though.
It can be hard.
I think times I'm good at it, and and then sometimes I just forget myself, and I'm just like, you know, and wallow in my own pity, in a sense.
I think that there are times that I like being alone, and sometimes even when I'm not feeling great or I'm having a bad mental health day, it's okay to sit in it sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to process those feelings and not feel. For me, I'm really good at turning things on and off. As an example, Saturday morning, I learned that someone who is like a cousin to me back home. I've known this person most of my life. Her name is Dorothy. She and her twin sister are like cousins to me. And when I woke up on Saturday morning, I had a lot of stuff to do that day, including go to my stepson's Wild Waves birthday party, and I had comedy. I had all this stuff going on. When I woke up in the morning, I saw a Facebook message from Dorothy's husband saying that Dorothy had some heart surgery, and Dorothy has a heart problem, and I'm aware of that, but that there was some complications. So I did not bother her husband, but I did hit up her twin sister, and I just said, hey, I saw that post. What's going on? And by the time her sister, Gracia, got back to me, Dorothy was gone.
Damn.
And she's 47.
Oh.
And she had her first major heart surgery June 3rd, 1997. And she died on June 3rd, 2023. But I had to, again, go to Wild Waves for a 7-year-old birthday party, and my daughter was in the car, and I had comedy, and. So sometimes I'm really good about kind of faking it. So I say all that to say, like, number one, I went home that night. I mean, I went to Wild Waves. I got ready. I had a show, and then I went to Nate Jackson's, and I watched a show, and then I went to the bar, and I hung out with friends. So it wasn't until like 1:32 in the morning when I finally went home, and that's when I finally like let go, you know, and kind of like released, you know, my feelings. But I'm really good about faking it. So sometimes when I'm going through stuff, I'm okay with sitting in that sadness for a while. But I do think it's healthy to ask for help, you know, and I love social media because honestly, you could just go on Facebook and be like, I need someone to talk to. And a lot of times someone will be like, I'm here.
At least one person.
You know, so yeah, I think it is good to ask for help. So because you're right, not everybody's moving so fast we don't know what each other's going through. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that we won't stop and take time.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I think that's important. So is anyone going to ask me if I'm good?
Hey, you good?
Are you good?
Oh,
are you good,
me?
though? Are you? Yeah.
I'm okay. I just told you, you know what? I just told you guys some stuff I'm going through. Overall, I'm good, I guess. You know, I mean, it's been a lot. You know, 2 weeks ago, 2 women got killed in my community. They were murdered. They were bartenders at a bar, and they were murdered by a customer because, you know, some people just can't handle their ego being bruised. And then now, you know, this family friend. But I did book a trip to go home for her funeral. So that'll be good to help, you know, maybe bring some closure there. I'll see my mom when I'm there, my best friend, my niece. The weather's nice, which is nice. The weather's nice. So I guess I'm okay. Yeah. I've had better days, I guess.
The sun helps.
I'm excited that you're here.
Thank you.
That's
I'm excited
amazing
to be here. I really am. I really am.
Our next section is called What to Do, which is just our interview.
Okay.
And then just for the viewers, just so you know, like we have some interview questions. We also have a section in there that called Turntables, which will allow JoJo to ask us questions should they choose. And I don't know whether they will choose or not. But
I'm gonna choose.
Oh God.
Oh no.
I got them.
we might want to cancel that section, Ralph. Said that way too.
I got something ready for you.
Yeah. He like springs out a scroll of things. Like his parchment paper. Okay, first question that we have is just tell us about yourself real quick.
Okay. Well, as we were talking previously, I am from Jackson, Mississippi originally. Born and raised there in the dirty South. I am currently 30 years old. I moved out to this lovely state in 2013 and have been here since, and it is a great time.
Wait. But when we were talking before we started taping, you said you backpacked for 2 years.
I did backpack for 2 years.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they said briefly that and then went to the next topic.
So I backpacked for 2 years, and mostly because I left my mom's house when I was 18, 19 years old, and it was mostly because she got tired of me sitting on her couch watching Maury, eating all the ramen noodles and shit. So then I was like, well, fuck it, I'm out of here. And so then I went to Tennessee for a little while, stayed there for probably like 2 months, slept on some couches. And then I went to California for a little minute. Big jump from Tennessee to California.
Yeah, that is.
It was fucking crazy.
What part of California?
I went to Los Angeles.
Because you know I'm from California.
I didn't, oh yeah, we did talk about that.
I'm from the Bay Area, but I lived in Southern California too. So I'm very familiar with most parts of California.
So I knew some friends that stayed in Los Angeles, and I was pursuing my acting career at the time. And I stayed in Los Angeles for literally like maybe 8 weeks. And I was like, I cannot do this.
That's a big jump from Mississippi,
It was a fat
I'm sure.
ass jump. And my little stupid ass didn't know what the fuck I had embarked myself into. And I was just like, oh no, it's too expensive out here, baby. And so then from Los Angeles, I ended up in Washington because I knew some white people. And so,
see, I don't know you that well, but I just envisioned like a 2-year, like thumb out, like hitchhiking situation.
I mean, to a certain extent, that's kind of what it was like.
Dressed like they are now, and like just hitchhiking.
So
in 2013.
Can we talk about that? Like
Go
your
ahead.
style. That's one of the things I love about you the most is that you appear to be extremely authentic in your style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to call your style.
I don't know what to call it either.
But I mean, sometimes you identify as non-binary, right? Sometimes you appear more masked. Sometimes you're more feminine. Sometimes I'm pretty sure you're just a fucking cartoon character. So, where did that come from? Was that like part of how you grew up?
Honesty, where it came from for the most part was that both my parents are really into fashion. My mom always worked at like clothing retail stores like my entire life. She always worked at like either like Rainbow or like Holidays. Like she worked at always like female clothing stores. And then my dad was just a fucking walking rainbow, but like masculine. If that makes sense.
Was your dad queer?
No, my dad was actually very much.
Was your dad a pimp?
My dad was in a fraternity. He was an Omega Psi Phi. He was
he was a Q.
He was a Q dog. So
oh shit! Shout out Nate Jackson.
He was either always wearing purple down or wearing gold down.
Got it.
And he was a Lakers fan, so he would always just like. He was always dressed hella loud. And so then, like, it's just like a mixture. So pretty much I just got both of my parents.
Did your dad ever make jungle juice at the crib?
My dad was an interesting character. He didn't make jungle juice, but he worked at Church's Chicken. So we always got Church's every single night.
I'm jealous.
Don't be. That okra got old hella fast. I was like, damn, okra again? Shit.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. Q Party is the first time I ever drank alcohol out of a fucking water cooler.
I believe it. They
That
get
was
fucking
no
down.
joke.
They go crazy.
Yeah, Nate Jackson's a Q.
I didn't know that.
He's a proud Q, too.
It makes sense, though, because he gives me that energy, like,
oh, yeah.
that secret hoe energy.
Shout out Nate Jackson.
Sit on Nate Jackson's secret hoes.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Next question.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a shoe store for a living. I also, well, actually, let me prolong on that. I work at a shoe store with old white people. That is my profession.
So not a Foot Locker.
Not Foot Locker, no. I work at like an orthopedic shoe store for like the lack of a better term. Like I pretty much sell like insoles to boomers.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
So fun. Buy their shoes for them.
How do they respond to you?
Like how you think they do. Like it's very they're just like they don't really know how to approach me a lot of the time.
Okay, pause. So we're doing this on video, but we also have the audio, right? So for those of you who aren't watching the video, why don't you describe your style?
Okay. All right. So the best way to describe my style, I feel like to someone who cannot see me, is I feel like I try to dress like an anime character every single day.
So I was right.
Sometimes it's like a cool anime. Like maybe it's like Cowboy Bebop. And then other times I'm just like, I'm going to dress like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character today and have like all of my abs out because that's what I feel like doing. And maybe the kneecaps too. Lotion, hopefully.
You got a lot of legs. So.
Today was a lotion day.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I had to put lotion on.
For the pod?
Yeah, for the pod. Only for the pod. Any other day is ashy. It's an ashy day. I'm just like, look, I ain't got time for all that.
Okay, now, Rob, you describe what he's wearing right now.
Describe what you think I dress like on a regular day, Rob.
Well,
how would you describe this outfit?
How tall are you? You're tall.
I'm like 5'9", 5'10".
You are? Okay, yeah, we're about the same height.
I just got on some really nice earrings.
Okay. Sparkles.
They are sparkling.
They have a nose septum pierce, a kind of bullhorn. Got like a flowery button-up shirt.
Oh, you guys see all that?
And those are some overalls. But no way, though, that's a vest.
That is a jean vest, bro.
Jean vest. I
don't know what 1970s.
I thought they were connected.
Fair.
That's
a lot.
Some blue jean shorts and like that light color, and then with the leather jacket on.
Wait, what about?
Loaded up with some rings.
We ain't talked about the pearl necklace yet. We have to talk about the pearl necklace. Yes.
He might need to clutch his pearls during our podcast.
And I do clutch my pearls when I get a little scared sometimes. It happens.
And got their
okay, so
their nails painted a nice. What color is that?
This is purple, and I need to repaint my nails because this is looking horrendous right now.
Yeah.
All those white people shoe tying, just makes the nail paint just go off real fast.
Makeup on point?
Makeup is on point to my standards. What do you think? What do you think,
always
Allison?
have good makeup.
Oh, well, thank you, Allison. Allison, how would you describe my outfits on a regular? You see me more than anybody else in here. How would you describe me on a regular basis?
Honestly, there's no describing you.
Fair.
I really believe, like what I said earlier, I just think you are authentically who you are.
I appreciate that.
And because not only do I see you out in comedy, but I also see your social media, right? And so I just think, I think you're brave, in a day and time where, and just to recap, I'm queer, Rob's kid's queer, obviously JoJo is queer. And in a day and time where being queer can be unsafe, because there are people that want to hurt us, you give off the persona, this is my impression, that you're going to take up space and you don't care what people think. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I sense. I'll say this: when I first met you, or when I first saw you at TCC, I was like, okay, he seems eccentric. He seems like a lot. You have a very theatrical approach to your comedy. And I was like, I don't know if this is an act, honestly. And I'm older and I've seen a lot of people and I've been through a lot of shit, right? So I waited to make any kind of assumptions or judgment until I got to know you a little bit better. But like, I think you're one of the most authentic people. Like, I don't feel like this is an act at all for you. I feel like you are who you are. And today you're this person, tomorrow you're that person, but they're still all JoJo. And I really like that about you.
That's the deepest shit I've heard all day. No, dead ass. Like, that's so deep. And I do appreciate that. No, I really do appreciate that. Because I feel like most people I feel like that's most people's impression of me. They feel like, oh, there has to be an act like that. There's no way that you're really just like that every single day. But like, I wake up and I'm literally just like, this me. This is me. This is all I can be. Because I feel like I had to like put myself into because I was married at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was actually.
Let's talk about that.
I was Rob ears perked up like
I'm just
Rob wants to know all the love stories. Trust me. He's the romantic of the group.
I got married when I moved out here, and I was like 23, 24 years old.
To a man or a woman?
To a woman.
Okay.
To a woman. That was actually when because I came out as non-binary when I was like, I want to say like right at the end of that marriage, like 25, 24.
Oh, so you were still presenting as
masc? I was still very cisgender male during that time.
So we weren't, there was no eyelashes.
It wasn't to the extent as it is now. I feel like the best way to describe my style or like how I was back then was to say I was very like pre-Bulls Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
Pre-Bulls, like Detroit Pistons Dennis Rodman at that time.
I'm a huge Bulls fan, so I get that.
But then when I got married, that's kind of when I realized like, oh, I'm doing this wrong.
What was she like?
She was very spiritual and very like a Erykah Badu type. Like she was very just like had her crystals and always clutching some sage. And I was just like, okay. I picked up what I needed from that relationship, but then I also realized like I am not really into the whole, I don't really feel heterosexual. That's not really like what I identify with. I don't really identify with the male roles that I feel like are kind of just like put, especially black male roles. I didn't really feel like that was really what fit me. And I came out as pansexual first. And then once I came out as pansexual, I was like, actually, I'm just not pansexual. I'm non-binary as well. And then we got divorced shortly after that. So that was...
Did that cause the divorce?
Honestly, it did.
Sad.
It is sad to a certain extent. But I mean, like, I respect it because I mean, like, when you go into, like, that's pretty much like going to the movies and expecting to see a fucking Fast and the Furious movie. And then you go in there, you actually see, like, fucking... some Jew
Titanic.
Yeah, like Titanic or like a fucking rom-com. He's like, this is not what I signed up for. So I respect.
That's fair.
I respect it.
That's fair. Okay. Thank you. I think that helps, especially describing it. That's something we have to get better at on our podcast is like when people are just listening, they, being able to tell people sort of the visual when it's necessary.
Did I throw you off there?
Well, okay. Before we move on, we talked about what do you do, and then we talked about what you wearing. But what we didn't talk about is these fucking shoes.
Okay.
So
let's talk about the shoes.
We can't. Oh, you probably can show them on camera. Let's see. Okay. No, we need to see the front though.
You want to see the front? Hold on, wait. Let's do it like that.
Are those like Payless Special?
These,
let's talk about them.
Are actually shoes that we sell inside of the store that I work at. So. Free publicity. There you go. Free
what did we call them that night?
These are, what did I call them? Fuck. The orthopedic threes.
Yes.
The orthopedic threes.
What did I say? Do you remember what I said?
What did you say?
I said, first of all,
you did say something.
First of all, I said, stop it.
Yes.
And then as we began to joke, I said, man, you better customize those bitches.
Listen, no customization is needed. The funny thing is, the reason I got these shoes is that most people don't know that I'm a Macklemore stan, like through and through.
Really?
I fucking love Macklemore.
I didn't talk about him, but I always think you're joking. Oh, so you really love him.
I think that's a joke. People always think that I'd be joking when I'd be like, oh, I fucking love Macklemore. Like, I would fucking drink that man's sweat. I would.
Okay.
And so Macklemore, for a lot of people that know, in that thrift shop video, it's a part where he's like, oh, he got the Velcros.
Yeah.
And then he literally has Velcro. I was like, I want fucking Velcro shoes now. And it was literally just for that one scene in the thrift shop. And I've seen that video like 1,000 times.
Shout out to Macklemore.
Shout out to Macklemore, dead ass. And like, even like all the places, because a lot of thrift shop was filmed in Washington, obviously.
Right.
I went to all those fucking places because I was like, I
know where he lives.
Drop the address.
We're not going to talk about it right now.
Off camera. Drop
you can go visit Ben.
No, dead ass. I'm trying to see Benjamin Haggerty and all his fineness.
He's coming back.
I know. December 21st, I'm going to be there.
Oh, he knows the date. He knows the date.
I am that man Stan.
I don't know why people hate on Macklemore. I think he's brilliant, honestly.
I don't fucking get it. And like...
I think his journey and his openness through his addiction has been beautiful. Through his relapse, through everything.
I fucking love everything
I think he's great. I don't know why people hate on him so much.
I think people hate on Macklemore because it's like cool. Like, you know how it was like cool to like hate on Obama at one point?
People hated on Eminem for a long time.
That is true, but Eminem
people still hate on Drake. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you can't. Drake is unfuckwittable in a lot of categories.
You lost me with the
Drake.
You
know what I'm saying?
You lost me with
See?
that.
Look.
You lost me.
But the reality is the numbers, but the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
So you could think Drake, whatever you want, but like, and I just like Macklemore because again, he's very authentic.
Yes,
so
very.
That's dope. I think that's dope. Okay, we're not talking about these shoes anymore.
Like, I think if you know how like you have intro music, you just need to come out to that thing where
those Velcros.
you
got the Velcros. No, dead ass. I fucking love that. That is iconic. But Allison, I will answer your question about these shoes. The reason I wear these shoes so much is because one, they're comfortable as shit. Like when I tell you, I feel like I'm walking on clouds every single time I wear these shoes.
Oh, I believe it. They're old people shoes.
They're old people shoes. They feel good.
Right.
My bunions be feeling so breathable in these motherfuckers. Bunions be like, thank God for these.
What size shoes do you wear?
I wear a size 10 in men's and a size 12 in women's.
Okay, so same size as me basically, but the thing is...
Don't say that now.
He's tall. I mean, he's the same height as me. He's almost 6 feet, but he's also skinny as a rail for those who can't see him.
I feel like
his shoes look huge. They are all white Velcro. They look like fucking skis. Like, they're huge. It's also why I don't wear all white shoes.
I feel like these shoes also attract white women, though, because white women be like, ooh, them shoes is big, so what's going on?
Gray-haired, Social Security drawing white women.
Listen, I could tell you some things.
I don't want to know.
I could tell you some things,
I don't know.
Let's move on.
$20 is $20.
Come on.
Oh, my God. Okay, next question. How'd you get into comedy?
Ooh, honestly, I got into comedy off a whim. Like I went to a show at TCC one time. I think it was like they had like a 420 show. Like the
Dope Show.
Yeah, the Dope Show.
Yeah, I've been on that.
Yeah, I went to the Dope Show literally one time. And I was like, oh, this seems like I would really like this. Like
you should do the Dope Show. Can you smoke? Oh, that sucks.
Not yet. I might have to wait. But
you should do the Dope Show.
I would love to do the Dope Show.
I can connect you with Tyler. He's the producer.
No, please do, because I definitely smoke weed.
He would love to have you.
Oh, man. Well, you said the right thing.
Maybe we'll talk later.
But yeah, so I went to a Dope Show, and that was my first time ever going to TCC. That was my first time even like being in like an actual like comedy scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then I seen that they had like open mics, and I was just like, okay, well, I want to see if I'm good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I went my first time, and then it was like the most intense high I've ever had in my life. It was like the most dopamine that's ever been like pumped into my body at one point. And I was like, I'm doing this shit every single fucking opportunity I can get.
Dope.
And so I just fell in love with comedy. Like I've always had like a love for comedy because I always study like Bernie Mac and Dave Chappelle and all those. Like I had the Kings of Comedy on DVD. I watched that DVD till it fucking broke. So I always had a love for comedy, but until I did it myself, I was like, oh, this is my shit. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue. So that's how I got into it.
Well, it sounded like you wanted to do acting before too. So it's
acting. I mean,
similar.
It goes hand in hand.
Right.
But I feel like the acting that I was like a play actor. I did a lot of plays before I ventured to where I'm doing now. But I was very dramatic in my acting, as you can
probably...
Dramatic?
Jojo?
You don't say.
What?
You don't say.
My Roger Lazola voice. What?
Shout out Roger.
Shout out to Roger. He's in Alaska right now fishing.
What?
Yeah, that's what he does in the summer.
Oh, shit.
That's how he can afford to just be a free-floating comic all over the place because I guess he makes a bunch of money on the boats.
Yeah, that's how you do make a bunch of money.
We should have Roger on the pod. Roger would be dope. Have you met Roger?
I don't think I have.
Have you seen him?
I don't think I have.
I did a show
Mexican,
with him.
little short. He looks like a homie with a mullet. Trust me, you would know him.
Wait.
He's a pro.
Does he have a strong mullet? Like,
yeah.
I think
but a Mexican mullet. Like a Mexican mullet.
Competes in mullet contests.
I feel like I have.
Yeah, at TCC.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's a pro, so like he'll drop in and do like 10 and get out of there. But he's
I've seen him
phenomenal.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to do a show with him.
Yeah, he's dope. He's a good dude too. He's a good dude. He's really sarcastic and snarky, but he's really nice. I've never had like a negative interaction with him. He's always been kind, even when I very first started.
I'm pretty sure I learned what the word incel was because he had like a set and he was talking about some like stop being an incel, just get some pussy. And I was just like, damn, now I know what incel is.
That sounds like a Roger line.
That does sound like a Roger line.
I believe it. But he has a joke about his mom denying that she beat him. And he says, what? What? And so now every time I say to myself, what? I say it in Roger's voice.
Nice.
So it's working. The comedy is working. All right, next question.
What's important to you as a human?
As a human, what's important to me is my kid. I have a daughter. I don't know if we ever talked about that.
Bomb dropped.
Bomb drop. We're dropping bombs. Yes, I have a 7-year-old.
What? Like, we're going to call this the Roger Lazola episode. What the fuck? I think I might have actually heard you say that, but I didn't think you... Okay. Talk about it.
Okay, so as we were speaking earlier, like I said, I was married. And so the way that I did my marriage was I pretty much just like hit the turbo on everything. So we got married, and then literally that day that we got married, we were just like, fuck a pull-out method.
Raw dog for life.
Raw dog for life. So literally 10 days later, we were pregnant. And so we was just like, well, fuck it, here we are. And so it's kind of like...
So Erykah Badu has your baby now?
Pretty much, in a nutshell.
Where they at?
Here still.
Oh.
Yeah, so I see my daughter all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the time.
That's dope.
Yeah. Like, they literally stay like maybe 10 minutes away from me, so...
Is JoJo your real name?
That
is actually a good question. No, JoJo is not my real name. My real name is Joe, and I'm the second, so
Joseph.
JoJo.
Oh, so you were like Lil Joe, JoJo, whatever.
Yeah, literally.
So was that your nickname growing up?
JoJo,
Okay.
yes, JoJo was my nickname growing up.
And Blacco, is that your...
Honestly, Blacko came from just, I was like, I'm black. Oh. So, no, it's not my real name.
Right, okay.
My real last name is actually very boring. It's Graham.
Joe Graham.
Yeah, it sounds ugly, doesn't it?
Sounds like he's buying shoes at your shoe.
Right. Joe Graham sounds like an old white man
very much so.
with a timeshare, which I am none of those.
And he never uses.
I never use it.
And he pays the fees.
Right, pays the fees, but doesn't use it.
Pays the maintenance fees, though.
Literally.
That's funny. So your daughter is 7, so she's in what, 2nd grade?
Yes.
That's a fun time.
It is a fun time. I am experiencing what do they call, like, we need to get the terrible 2s, but now we're getting the terrible 7s.
Oh, she got attitude.
Oh, she has attitude bad.
Oh, yeah.
Gemini.
My stepson just turned 7.
Oh, so.
But he's been a teenager since he was born, I think.
Fair.
He's got the biggest attitude.
Kids
he
that
always
just grow
kind of
up with that attitude, you got to watch out for the motherfuckers, because you just
Still
be like,
get that
oh,
attitude.
damn.
He's 21 years old and still got that attitude.
21 years old with like a kid body. I'm just like,
I know.
He's got a 21-year-old.
Oh, so you already know then. You already know.
I'm like,
oh, you have a 7-year-old. That's awesome. Later, you can show us pictures.
Yes.
We'll have to do it on the pod, but I just want to see.
She literally just looks just like me.
She has the same pearl necklace on?
She tries to do her makeup like me, so like,
I love it.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the question was what was important to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's important to you? So your daughter.
My daughter,
okay.
Yes. My daughter, comedy is very important to me right now. Also, just like making it out of, I feel like that's so stereotypical to say, making out the hood. But I do like live right by Chocolate City, so I do want to make it out of the hood as fast as I possibly can.
Got it.
It's not fun living where I live, but just making it in general, just like being successful is very important to me.
That's fair.
I'm hungry.
Well, we're not going to take a break for you to eat.
No. Hungry in the...
I know what you mean.
I know this motherfucker did not just take that literal.
I know what you mean.
We get you some fries or something, JoJo. I know you hungry, baby. It's okay.
Sorry, I would have saved you half my box.
It's all right. I'm going to eat the egg yolk.
Okay. I think the next question is your question, right? So, number 7?
Oh, what's your biggest influence?
In what aspect?
Maybe comedy, maybe just in life in general.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, I have 2 answers for that then. My biggest influence in comedy, funny enough, is Zach Amico. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
I don't know.
Zach Amico is a gay comedian, white, obese gay comedian. But he is from New York, and pretty much that really just helped me understand that I could be my true self and still do what I do and not have to conform to what other people are doing. Because I don't know if the first time you saw me, Allison, I feel like I remember the first time I saw you, but the first time you saw me, I was still like kind of trying to do like fit into a cisgender comedian bubble to a certain degree. Like I wasn't as outright as I am now because I didn't know if that was allowed. And so, go ahead.
Oh, no,
Are you trying to think back to that time?
No, I remember, I think this first time I saw you, like I said, at TCC, but I just felt like you were nervous probably because you were new.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that
it
played
still
a part.
felt like, I would say it felt, again, I did wonder like, oh, is this his persona? You know what I'm saying? Like some comedians definitely are one person on stage and one person off stage. And sometimes it's like a slight, and sometimes it's like very dramatic difference from who they are as a just everyday person, right? So not knowing you, I was like, I wonder what this is about, you know? But I also feel like as much as I feel like you're very authentic, I also feel like you're much more comfortable.
Way more comfortable now.
So at least on stage. So, and I also, I hope, I don't know, but I hope that you also feel like you're building a community.
I do feel like that. I will say that, and I'll go back to the influence thing, but I will say that I do feel very comfortable in the people that I have made connections with in the comedy realm. Like I do feel a lot more at home now than I did when I didn't know anybody.
Is there anyone in particular?
Honestly,
you don't have to name names if you don't want to.
I mean, I'll name names. I don't care. They might. But no, Maceo is like,
wow.
Maceo is like, took me under his wing like immediately. Immediately, Maceo was just like, nah, I see what you got going on, kid.
I like Macy.
I love Macy.
Wow.
Macy, like.
That was just I didn't expect that. I don't know.
No, I didn't either.
Macy fucking changed my life, like dead ass. Cause like Macy would have conversations with me like off kilter and it would just be like, okay, like. It made me feel accepted, and then Macy is the one that made me want to talk to other people. Like, I didn't talk to anybody before Macy, like, pulled me to the side and was like, hey, I see what you got going on. Like,
That's dope.
Yeah,
Macy's a good guy. But Macy's older, like us.
Yeah,
you know, and he's not,
what it is.
I don't think Macy's been doing comedy very long either, but Macy, I don't know, we're older. We just have more life experience. And I think the older people, and no offense to the younger people, but I think older people realize how much human connection matters. And in comedy, my philosophy, you know, it is individual sport, but it is not bad to have a team, if that makes sense.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we're all doing this for ourselves. No one's going like, oh, Netflix, I'm sorry, not if my 6 friends can't come along.
Right.
But when you have people that you can rely on, and it could be 3 or 4 different groups. I have people in Seattle that I love and I get along with. I have people down here. I have people back home in Cali that are comedians that, I talk to. So I think that that's dope. But I also wonder if I think Macy just might be that kind of person.
No,
you know?
I totally believe that. Because
that's really cool.
I've seen Macy do that with other people, but like I just appreciated how he did that for me.
That's dope.
And it just, it was dope.
That's dope.
As far as life influences, though, in all honesty, I would say my mom is probably my biggest influence, just because my mom like showed me how to live authentically first. Like my mom was very just like allowed me to be who the fuck I was, even though like I was still figuring myself out when I was younger. She just like, I don't know, put me in a place to where, because my dad didn't really fuck with me even being slightly queer when I was younger.
Are your parents married?
They were when I was coming up. They got divorced in 2005. So I was like 12.
So are you still rocking with your dad at all?
Me and my dad actually are very close now. My mom passed away a couple years ago.
Oh.
It's okay. But me and my dad, like when my mom passed away, we kind of like built a bond because it was like, oh, I only got one parent now, motherfucker, and it's you. So gotta make some shake.
Here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then finally he had to come to the realization that like, okay, well, I got a queer kid now and, I got to build that relationship. And so my dad accepted me, like I would say like maybe within the last 2 years and kind of like brought me into the fold because at first he was not fucking with it at all. He was just like, that's gay. And I was like,
Yes.
That's gay. No. But now he's very cool with it. He's just like, look, if you can look yourself in the mirror and you're happy with you, then I'm happy with you.
Does he tell you I love you?
He does now. Like, it literally took until I was 28 for him to say that to me.
Okay.
And so like that, like the first time he said it, like that was like the most emotional moment I've ever had. But yeah, that like when he said it when I was an adult, it was like, oh shit.
I'm happy that he did it, and I'm happy you received it.
Yeah, of course.
Because sometimes when kids feel rejected by their whomever, that when that person tries to rectify it, the person, sometimes we're not ready for it.
Sometimes we hold grudges.
And as someone who I still have my mom, but I lost my dad. I'm happy you received it, and I'm happy that you guys have a relationship. I mean, Rob can tell you, you know, as a dad of a queer, you know, a non-binary kid, he's talked before about.
Yeah, well, I talked a little bit about in the last episode. If you didn't know, I lost my son in a horrific car accident, and we got into it in episode 2. But then now having my kid come out, it was like I could have been we grew up in Texas, and there's a lot of things about pushing the gay community away. And so I could have been that stereotypical parent and no, you're going to be gay and push you away. I don't think I would have been, but also the influence of the death of my son kind of sparked that too. We have our moments, but I think me and Katie are pretty close.
No, that's one thing I really respect about you. When I heard that you had a non-binary kid to begin with, I just appreciate any parent that like accepts their kid just for being whoever the fuck they want to be. Like, I don't know. I just say respect that because I've been on the end where it wasn't respected. And so like anyone that takes that time to be like, nope, I'm going to still fuck with you regardless, no matter what life choice you make, because at the end of the day, that's still your life. I respect that. So I respect you off rip for that. Yeah.
And I'm going to double down on Rob's like dopeness, because not only is Katie non-binary, but Katie's partner was, Katie was partnered with a trans male, and they live with Rob. You know what I'm saying? So not only are you learning and, learning they, them pronouns and learning, your daughter is now, a non-binary person and all of these things, but then accepting their partner who was also born female and is now identifying as male. And I think Rob is just an amazing example of what
really dope.
All queer kids deserve. All, period. So,
people in general, but yes.
Yeah. Any other influences?
Those are my main two. I think we covered all the things.
Tell us something that people might be, we've already covered this, but that people might be surprised to learn about you, which you dropped with the 7-year-old.
Right. That's actually funny. Me and Rob were talking in the car. I feel like what most people would be surprised to learn about me is I'm actually very into a lot of masculine things. Like I really like Limp Bizkit. That's not a joke. And wrestling.
I think Limp Bizkit's kind of gay, but go ahead.
You think Limp Bizkit's kind of gay. That's fair.
Different kind of gay.
Different kind of gay. It's all right. I'm really into wrestling.
R.I.P. to the Iron Sheik?
R.I.P. to the Iron Sheik, yes.
I don't give a fuck about wrestling. I just watch,
but you know that, Twitter. You watch the news. That's what matters.
Actually, I grew up, my brother liked Hulk Hogan, so the Iron Sheik was somebody I actually know.
Iron Sheik, the greatest heel of all time.
Literally.
The bad guy. If you don't know what heel
I know,
okay.
I know.
Look, he's over here trying to mansplain to you. He's like, a heel is.
Hey, I watched The Real World. So when The Miz became The Miz, I remember that. I was invested in that.
Okay. See, now it comes full circle.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. We did the things. But yeah, I actually went to Wrestling Academy out here in Seattle.
Oh, shit.
I feel like most people would be surprised to know that.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I did.
Which one? Defy?
I went to, Defy, yes. Okay. And then I forget the coach's name, but it was like this heavily tattooed white man. And he had to be like in his...
Shocker.
He had to be in his like mid-30s, early 40s, but I went there for like 2 to 3 months. And the last time Last time I went there, I got hit so hard in the face that I never went back. And that's what killed my dream.
Okay.
So, have you ever been to Vegas?
I have not been to Vegas.
So whenever you go to Vegas, let me know. One of my homeboys lives there, and he has a totally different, regular kind of boring day job. But at night, He's a photographer, and he is tight with the wrestling community there.
Say less.
So I will actually add you to his Facebook or whatever.
Please do.
I'm sure he'd be cool with that. But like, if you ever go to Vegas, my guy's your guy.
I like it. Yes.
Also, I feel like we can introduce you to Macklemore. Like, I feel like I can make that happen.
If you can make that happen for me, Allison, listen, let me tell you something.
I feel like we can figure it out.
I will literally kiss the ground that you walk on for the remaining of your life.
I don't even need that. Like, that's just who I am as a person.
I would appreciate that because I've been trying to meet that man.
Ben, we're coming for you, Ben.
Benjamin!
We're coming for you, Ben. In all the best ways, though.
Listen, for real. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
Going back to you talking about wrestling, though.
Yes.
No, we're not going to get into wrestling.
Yeah,
talk
no,
or
we're
anything.
definitely not.
We don't have
but
to.
That was one of the things that turned me on to JoJo, being queer, but being able to talk about cisgender stuff. It was like, he's like, they are totally breaking the stereotype.
I feel like, in all honesty, I feel like that's why this is not a crack at you, Rob. I feel like that's why most white men are drawn to me. I attract a lot of white men. And it's mostly because, like, they be like, oh my God, JoJo is so da-da-da-da. But then JoJo can also talk about, like, wrestling and, like, sports.
Well, when we were at the mic on Monday, you didn't have any makeup on or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you looked very masked. So, like, I could see you dressed very effeminate. That doesn't necessarily mean in a dress, right? I could see you dressed very effeminate. I could also, like, literally see you in jeans and Jordans and, like, a baseball cap. Like, I feel like you do.
Wow.
When you identify as non-binary, I feel like you are authentically riding the line of, like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, for me, I feel like if you showed up somewhere where nobody knew you, dressed in, jeans and Jordans and a baseball cap, nobody would ever think that this side existed.
Nobody would question it.
And if you showed up in a hot pink mini dress, nobody would know that side existed. But you are all those things, like, authentically. And it's not, and I'm not saying most people are an act. I'm just saying, I think some people really have to try. And I think that that's just truly who you are. So, he don't have no money. It's not like I'm trying to get money from him or anything. I don't want nothing for him. No, I mean, this is authentically just how I feel about you, how I perceive you.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
But I also care a lot about you. I mean, JoJo will tell you. Can I tell what happened?
Yes, we can go.
Okay.
Yes, we can go there.
So, like, 2 weeks ago, JoJo missed not one, but 2 different mics that he was scheduled for, which is fine because we're really chill about that, the Open Mic Collective. But JoJo did not properly notify anyone where he was, where they were. And I was like, look, you are queer and the world is a scary place. And the mom in me kicks in and I'm like, where the fuck are they? You know what I'm saying? And then you showed me, like, oh, you put it on a post in the middle of fucking nowhere, Facebook.
Literally.
That you weren't going to make it. And I'm like, I'm not looking at that. So,
see,
I'm sorry that I mommed you, but
it's okay. You can mom me. It's all right. I was caught off guard because I'm not used to people caring that fucking much. Like, it really caught me off guard. I was just like, well, damn, shit. I guess I'll say I won't be able to make it next time. My bad. In my mind, I really just thought, like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm just another comedian in a long line of other comedians that you work with. So in my mind, I was like, I don't think it matters that if I say I can make it or not make it.
It matters in the fact that it is an open mic and we want to know when people are not going to make it. But on a personal level, it mattered to me. And I check in generally with anybody that doesn't show up and doesn't tell us what's going on. Because I also don't want people getting comfortable doing that.
Right.
Because we work very hard at the Open Mic Collective to make those lists and to run those nights. But for you specifically, and there's a few people that I just feel drawn to, and part of it is just my guess was you were kind of out here sort of on your own, and the world is a fucked up place. And so, I don't spend the rest of my days wondering where and how JoJo's doing. But in those moments, I was just like, I hope they're good.
No, I appreciate that.
And I didn't want you to get weirded out about it, so that's how I explained to you. Like, this is why I'm especially worried. It's not really even about the mic. It's just, if you don't communicate,
You think the worst.
I want to make sure that you're good.
No, I appreciate that.
Because it's not my business what you do, and you don't have to answer to me in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But safety is a paramount concern these days. You know, like, especially for someone who's not fitting into a box.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a box big enough to hold you. So.
No, I appreciate that. So, I mean, it makes sense. That's why, I respected. Once you explained it to me, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. I see where she's coming from.
And I hope you know that it is authentically. That is who I am, too.
I got that vibe from you. I didn't never question that once.
Okay, last question that we have on our list.
Can I the last one? The last one in?
Sure.
All right.
Uh-oh, here we go. Yeah.
It is Pride Month.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers to the queers.
Cheers to the queers.
Do you think it's a celebration or exploitation?
Ooh, damn it. Okay. I'm going to answer that question like this. I feel like it's a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like that it is a celebration of queer people, but at the same time, I do feel like businesses use it as a way to, okay. It's just like when Black History Month is around and you see all these people like, oh, BLM, Black Lives Matter, just for that month. But then that very next month, those same businesses don't have those flags in their windows. They don't have those posters in their windows. They don't have that same amount of support as they have for that particular month. And I feel like it's more of a box checking thing versus this is how I really feel type thing. And so I've noticed, especially living out here, in the past 7 days that it's been Pride Month, I have seen and heard a lot of Happy Pride Month, Happy Pride Month. Look at my rainbow flag. Look at my rainbow badge. Look at my rainbow pin. Look at me. I love gay people. I'm an ally. I fucking hate that sentence. I'm an ally. Look at me. Look, I love gay people. But you don't get that same response from those businesses or people throughout the year.
Yeah. It's like having I support Black Lives Matter poster in the door, and they don't hire Black people.
Exactly.
They don't.
Exactly.
It's called performative behavior.
Yeah. Yes, very
they're performing.
Yeah.
And I do feel like Pride Month kind of fits into that realm of you don't know when people are like just putting that front on because they know that it's what's the word I'm looking for? Politically correct. Mm-hmm. You don't know if they're just doing this because, oh, I should be doing this because if I don't put this out here, then people can be like, oh, you're homophobic. Versus, is that really how you feel? Is that really?
I think sometimes I feel the way that you feel. Mm-hmm. I also think it is Pride Month, so I think it's the time for people to show an extra amount of support.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is I love a good business who has, a rainbow sticker just on their window. That's just up all year round, or a BLM, a picture in the back. So, it's just part of their normal decor.
Right.
They didn't gay it up the way,
Yes.
But then
gay it up is a good phrase.
In some ways, though, at Christmas time, we put up, we put up trees and we put up this and we put up that. And St. Patrick's Day, we do this and that. So, I think decorating is something that we do around holidays. And I think that people look at Pride Month as a holiday in some ways.
Okay.
Or a celebratory moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think, so let's talk about Bud Light real quick, right? Because that's one of the bigger stressful things.
Careful.
So, but the true story around that, the issue with Dylan, was that it was her birthday. They sent her cans that were just for her.
Yes.
She put them online and the whole world exploded.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have gay cans.
Right.
Yes. That's the whole point.
That was not a thing.
You
that
can't
was
go to
just
no gas
for her.
station and get no gay Bud Light can. Right. That's not a thing.
Right. That was not just for her. That's like if you like Macklemore and it's your birthday and I bring you a cake with Macklemore on it, that doesn't mean I all of a sudden love Macklemore too.
Yeah.
That means you who love Macklemore, it's your birthday. I'm going to give you something that you're going to enjoy. And then the whole world now thinks that I'm Macklemore's biggest fan. No, that's stupid. But the world is full of ignorance and whatever. So the whole thing just became such a mess. And it just was silly to me because they weren't even trying to be performative. Mm-hmm. Not that they haven't in the past, but they weren't trying to be performative. I want to believe best intentions. Mm-hmm. So when a store or a company or a clothing line or whatever, one of the podcasts I love, the podcast I love the most, shout out to Rory, the new Rory and Mal, them. Right now, their logo on their pod is like it's kind of like instead of their normal colors, because Rory is a ginger and Mal is a black dude. Instead of them, it's a rainbow over their faces, and I love that. It's very simple. It's also saying like we're good with queer folks, we love queer people, like happy Pride, whatever. So I do want to believe that people are authentically supporting us, as queer people, but I do love me a good, straight cis white dude who in the middle of November will stick up for gay people.
I love that. Yes, I respect
Or a store that always has just that little rainbow sticker that says you can come and eat bagels and be safe in my spot, whatever. So I don't know. I feel mixed about it too. Yeah. But what do you think?
I think it's both and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's both and. I can see, Target recently, all that stuff happened, and they got all Target, mad. People got mad, and then they turned tables on stuff, and then we're taking. I don't know. It's a mess, but we need to celebrate it. But we also need to recognize that it can be.
I think looking at the intentionality matters.
Yeah. Very much so.
I think that I have bought clothes from Target's Pride stuff. I didn't buy anything this year because I didn't really like any of the stuff that they have, but I've bought from them the last couple of years.
That shit was ugly this year.
But yeah, it kind of was. But I think that Target has good intention. Mm-hmm. Target is also the one who, was the target, no pun intended, of, the trans bathroom drama at the beginning and stuff like that. So it's like, I believe that Target really, truly cares about queer people. I would love to see stores like that have like a non-binary section or a queer section all year round. But like, we don't have a Christmas section all year round, and some people love Christmas all year. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's complicated. I think
where you're going with that,
if, Chick-fil-A all of a sudden has queer shit, then we know that's a problem. Right. And that's performative. And that's a marketing guy going, come on, you guys, we got to get on with the gays,
Can you imagine a gay chicken sandwich, though? Like, what would that even look like? Like just rainbow-colored buns.
Honestly, I have my own feelings about Chick-fil-A personally.
Me too.
Same.
Because, I love Chick-fil-A.
Same.
And I will eat it.
Same.
Very incrementally.
Yeah.
Because my $20 every 6 months does not make or break Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Because as much as the people high up did and say and whatever, and they donate money to politicians and blah, 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 you're going to find that with almost any big corporation. I actually ended a friendship once over a woman who was a really good friend at the time. She was a coworker, but she was a friend. She completely harassed me about eating Chick-fil-A. And I was like, honey, no, it wasn't like honey. I was like, bitch. honey. Last weekend, we were at a bar and you drank 6 Blue Moon beers and Anheuser-Busch. Hella fucking homophobic. Like, don't come for me unless, you know what I'm saying? I call for you.
Right.
But, lead me to my waffle fries. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Here's the other thing. My understanding, I don't know if it is anymore, but I know when they first came out here, Chick-fil-A, as far as I know in the South, they do a lot of community work. Like there's a hurricane or a flood, like they'll get out there and they'll feed their people. Number one. Number two, they hire hella fucking gay people. When they first opened up the Tacoma, which is one of the first Chick-fil-A's in the state, the manager was a very butch lesbian. And I actually asked her, because that's who I am, I was like, how do you feel being queer and, working here? She goes, we have like 12 queer people that work here. So that philosophy of the old white people that started the place or that owned the place or whatever, it doesn't trickle down to their hiring practices. So some people, oh my God, they're not going to ever listen to
I actually haven't ate Chick-fil-A ever since Katie came out. I haven't actually ate Chick-fil-A.
I think
just more of
now
a
Robert's
support.
gonna go to Chick-fil-A.
Now I'm like, can I have?
I think you like what you like. I think that, I won't go to Hobby Lobby because they're very anti-queer and they're very anti-woman. So that's and the thing is, you can go to fucking Michael's and get the same shit.
Same shit.
But at Chick-fil-A, I like their chicken sandwiches. So once in a while, I will go there.
Ain't nobody making no chicken
Is
sandwich like
somebody
Chick-fil-A.
gonna kick me out of the gay mafia? Like, oh well,
Right.
like whatever. But it's a personal decision too, and I respect that.
Right.
Just don't come for me because we all are using some toilet paper that some homophobe owns the company for.
Right.
That don't
I'm gonna get off that.
Gay ass with it.
Okay.
I think is this time to
turntables?
Turntables.
Oh, shit.
Yes. I actually wrote my questions down, so I got to go to my notes on here. Let's see here.
We'll do turntables after that.
You want to do doper?
We'll do dope or trash.
Cool.
And then we'll wrap it up.
All right. So,
How we doing on time?
1 hour.
I can hear you.
1 hour.
Okay.
okay, cool.
Our producer, NuqNuk, he's got that smooth Sunday.
Right. That was a cool little
right?
Teddy Pendergrass
That's how
voice.
he-
I wasn't ready for
that's
that.
how he always talks.
1 hour.
He doesn't realize because his back is to us, so we can't hear him.
So, first question I have for you guys, I'm going to knock this mic one more time. What do you do when you experience comedy burnout? If you experience it.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm still new. I think I'm even newer than you, JoJo.
How long have you been doing comedy for?
Since August of last year.
You haven't experienced comedy burnout yet? Or just like,
yes, I have.
and what do you do when that happens?
I have to take a break. Like I really do. Like I was more. For me, and when I say and comedy burnout might mean something different to you. I was working and doing too much comedy, and it was affecting my work. And I'm having to find a balance where, even though I want to, I don't need to go out every night.
Okay.
Even though I have the desire and have it badly, if I really could, I could go out every night.
Okay.
So I think there's that. And so I need to take a break sometimes.
Okay.
So.
Same. I mean, I got into comedy just to try it and I was okay at it. And when I do something, I tend to do it all the way. Or at least try to. And I love comedy, even with the haters and the chaos and the political whatever drama that happens. I really love doing comedy. But I don't write jokes every single day. I don't really write my jokes at all. In fact, I was talking to another comedian who, I'm not going to name his name because I don't know if he'd want me to talk about this. But it's a very, it's a very experienced, like 12-year comedian. And we were talking about how we don't even write our jokes. Like we'll write what we wanted, the premise and tags or whatever, and then we'll just go up and do them, and we'll perfect them and we'll add our notes. But like some people who just write all their jokes out first and then cut. Like I tried to do the beginning and I couldn't. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So when I feel overwhelmed, I just don't do it. I have other commitments in my life, like my kid. Like my full-time job for the government, I'm on the diversity commission. Last night, I accepted the Pride Proclamation a federal way for the city. So I specifically did not do comedy last night. So I give myself space. And if I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed, then I just don't go out, but I also go out 3 and 4 times on some nights. Or like last weekend, I went and did a show and then I went and watched a show at Nate's. That's a lot of comedy in one night. It's like 4 hours of comedy. That was good. But Sunday, I didn't do shit. So I'm really easy on myself because I'm not like, I have to do comedy because I want to be a famous person. So for me, if I'm feeling some kind of way, I just chill the fuck out. And I give myself that space because I will put pressure on myself and then I will hate it. That's not what I want because that aspect of my life has made me so happy that I don't want to lose that feeling. So
those are actually really good answers. I wasn't expecting you guys to say that you guys had comedy burnout, but yeah, it is a real thing. And I didn't even know that myself until like I was going out and like perform as much as I was, and I was like, oh my God, okay, like I enjoyed this, but I feel like at some point it's just like are these jokes hitting the same? Are you even enjoying these jokes, doing these same jokes, whatever the case may be? But thank you for that. The next question I have is, actually, you kind of asked me this question earlier, so this is funny. What made you guys get into comedy, and who were your guys' biggest influences? Allison, you can go first.
We talked about this a bit on our first episode. We, for me, I've always been kind of conversationally funny. I came from a family that joked a lot. And then I grew up around Black folks. So he was always talking shit. And so I don't know. I was processing some trauma. I was getting out of another social commitment that I used to do. I used to do politics really hard. And I'm still very much involved in some aspects, but it's something I'd been thinking about for years. And so I tried it. And in terms of like influences, I don't really have any. I mean, I'm not someone who can like watch the same movie over and over again. So like I love Neil Brennan, right? And I love Blocks, which is his most recent special, but like I've watched it twice. I probably won't ever watch it again, or years down the road. You know, some people are like, "Oh, I could watch Eddie Murphy Raw every day." Not me. So because of that, I watch so much comedy. You know, and then I go to Nate's a lot, so I see a lot of comedians at Nate's. You know, I've been trying to go to TCC more, and then I also watch a lot of local people. I mean, I just worked with Gabe Rutledge this weekend, and Gabe Rutledge is I think one of, if not the funniest person in the region. But like you can watch Gabe, and you can watch Sam Miller, and you can watch Kermit Appew, and you can watch Monica Nevi and Taylor Clark, and they're all different comics. So I'm influences by bits and pieces of everyone. Okay. Whether it's a famous person, a local person, even new people, even some of the new people that are coming up, and just watching them grow. And I'm also influenced, I guess that's not the right word, but I also know how to pick out what I would never do. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely people that I watch and I'm like, I would never act like that, or I would never talk about those things, or I would never, never want an audience to respond to me the way I'm watching this audience member respond to that person. So I think, okay, how do I avoid that? So I don't know if that's the right answer, but
I mean, there was no wrong. That was no wrong answer to that, but that was really insightful. Robert,
he's gonna say me.
Well,
no, just playing.
Well, Allison did help me get into comedy.
Okay,
Allison was doing comedy, and I kept saying, "Hey, that sounds cool. You know, I want to do it." She recommended a book. I read a book, and then finally, Andrew Frank did a class at Laughs, and that's how I got in. But it's always been a desire of mine. I just closeted it. I was a closet comic.
It was a closet comic.
Oh, you came out the closet, Robert.
Yes, I did come out the closet.
I love that for you.
But influence there, I like what you said about there. It is across the board. Like I love all different comics, from older comics like George Carlin or Sam Kinison, Eddie Murphy, you know, Richard Pryor, you know, like I'm all across the board. Newer comics that are famous, comics here, you know, that have influenced me too. So yeah, I like that what you said, like picking bits and pieces out of different people, because we're our same person, but we're different parts of other people, maybe, in a sense, you know.
Agreed.
That explains.
Anything else for us?
Last question I have is, if I can unlock my phone, what did you find is one of the biggest hurdles in the local comedy scene?
Oh, be nice.
The lack of an HR department.
Bars. Message.
HR department.
Message.
Honestly, for me, I can be very principled. And so without there's no oversight. I jokingly say there's no HR, right? But it's like everything is calculated. It's like you can hate something that a booker says, does, whatever, but like they're a big booker, so people kiss their ass just because they're a booker or they own a club or whatever. I am very principled, so there are certain things about people that I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking with you. And if that means you're not going to book me, you know, and honestly, I've learned that from some comics. You know, Sam Miller has talked about it before. There are some people that, you know, early on, he said some things and whatever, and he may never work with those people or at those places, but he seems to be more or less okay with it. Mm-hmm. I think there's some things he would go back and maybe change, but listening to him talk about that made me better okay with who I am. The other side of that is people are assholes to each other. You know, I have comics that hate on me for starting the open mic collective, which is weird because I'm like, I don't make any money off of it unless I'm hosting the same way he would if he's hosting or any other producer in the group is doing. I only made it to make more space for comics to get on stages. And I did it as a group. It's not Allison's open mic collective. It's the open mic collective. The collective part is that there's 8 or 9 of us that work together. And it's not the same 8 or 9 today that it was before, but it was only to build opportunity. So the fact that people hate on that, I don't understand. And of course people say, oh, that's just jealousy. But why? That's dumb.
It is dumb.
It doesn't make sense to me. And I'll also say, and I don't say this lightly, but there are a lot of dudes in the scene that are inappropriate, say inappropriate things, are disrespectful. Not to say that women can't do the same thing, but you know, seeing how many female comics have been talked to in disgusting ways and touched inappropriately. And, you know, if you're running a show and you make a joke about getting a blowjob from, you know, for a booking, it's not fucking funny. That's not a joke, you know, and it's, and there's no HR.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, there's no HR. So, then as the women talk to each other, then we get vilified for like, oh, all the bitches are talking to each other. Well, yeah, because we got to protect ourselves and tell each other about you because you're a fucking creep. So I think that's one of the interpersonal stuff can be really hard. Mm-hmm. I'm also not a fake person at all. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how many people are fake with me because there's a lot of people that I think are very inauthentic. And I tend to want to always see the best in people. And then I find out people have talked about me behind my back or said shit or, you know, and I just think it's weird. You know, I don't know. I know that's a lot of words for one answer, but
you answered it.
There's a lot of hurdles. And I think it's every scene. I don't think it's Seattle. I think it's every scene from what I can tell. But I'm a Libra. I'm a triple Libra, sun, moon, rising. So everything I do is balanced. And the good is so much more than the bad. So even with all those hurdles, it's still one of the dopest things I've ever done. So
I respect that.
And fuck those bitches.
Fuck them bitches. Robert?
We were talking about hurdles?
Yes.
Hurdles?
What do you feel like the biggest hurdles that you have come across in your time in comedy?
Well, I'm not going to talk about the scene too much. I'm just going to talk about me personally.
Yeah, you can talk about your personal hurdles. That's fun.
Is finding the time to write in my own way, whatever that may be.
Okay.
Like, sometimes I like to write, and sometimes I just like to write premises and then go test it out. But it's finding the balance of time to yeah. I don't know. But and I guess I also with the scene. Okay, well, I'll say this much: I'm still early comic, so it's finding those opportunities for the next level up. It's where I'm at. I'm trying to take one more step up, and it's being kind of difficult. I'm like blocked.
I think if I can add, I think it's hard. I think part of the reason that I have some of those issues is because I have a strong personality and I'm a go-getter, and I know that. I wish that some of the people that think they knew me actually got to know me. You know, it hasn't been announced yet, but there's a employee over at Nate's who has cancer. And like the moment that it came out that she had cancer, I was like, well, let's put a show together. Let's put a fundraiser show together. And we got a tentative okay from Nate, and I think Nate's going to headline this show. And like within probably less than a month, maybe 3 weeks, we're going to have a show, and we're going to try and raise some money for her. And I'm already like, okay, who can I hit up for a gift card to do a raffle? And like, I barely know that person, but like, that's really where my heart is. My heart is not where the fuck is JoJo? Why isn't he at my mic? Is JoJo safe? You know what I'm saying? And also, you know, please let me know where you are, because you are supposed to be here. But more than that, are you safe? And I don't have to know you to use my skill set and my ability to put a show on for you, because you have cancer. And let's raise, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 could be 2 months of rent for you.
That's
you know,
really
it could
beautiful.
be
I love that.
a lot. So that's really who I am. That's where my heart is. The Open Mic Collective was for the community. It was never for me. I'm included in that for sure. Do I benefit? Yes. But it was never about me. If it was about me, I would run my own room every Tuesday night, and that's my shit. I don't care about that. It's about all of us. And so I guess that's one of the... Rob is very likable, and he fits in, and he's nice. And sometimes he'll say, oh, I was kicking it with these people. I'm like, oh, those people never talk to me, you know? And I know it's because I do have that strong personality, but it's who I am.
Yeah. And I am who I am. I'm very likable.
Absolutely.
And you know, I can, you know.
And people either love me or they hate me, but I wish the people that hated me could even articulate why they hate me.
Right. A good reason.
Because I have a huge heart. And if I harm someone and they tell me, I also intimidate people a lot. I can't do anything about that. I don't know.
I can see that part though.
Yeah, but it's not intentional.
I was very intimidated by you like the first couple times you talked to me, but not in like a bad way. It was just like oh damn, this is somebody's like mom. I don't want to like cuss in front. Like, I don't know. It was just like really weird.
I literally have a necklace that says fuck on it, by the way. But
fair enough.
No, but I get it. I get why people say that. In my whole life, I've tried to be less than. Mm-hmm. But I'm 44. I'm almost 45. Like, I'm not trying to fit into anybody's box. I can also be accountable. So if I say some shit and it hurts you, send me a text, send me a message, talk to me face to face, however you're comfortable with it. I don't care if you send a pigeon to my crib with a little thing around his neck. Mm-hmm. Tell me what I did. Let me be accountable and let's move on. But like, people don't like doing that, especially if they're intimidated by you, then they'll just stop talking to you. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, it hurts me more than people know. So it's like, those hurdles, I realize that some of those hurdles are because of my personality, but I also don't think there's a lot of people in this scene that really know me. So that's one of the reasons I think it's good for this podcast. Yeah. Is because we are very close and we know each other because we've known each other for years. Mm-hmm. But it, you know, will allow people to get to know us differently, I guess.
Yeah, very much so.
And just hate on me more. Anyways.
All right. We need to get
okay, dope or trash, you know how this works.
So
we go around.
Okay.
And you tell us, so sunglasses, are they dope or trash, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever your topic is, we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but then we ask NuqNuk as well.
Okay.
And so each person gives a topic, and then we say whether we think it's dope or trash, and then we move on to the next person.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can go first.
Oh, damn. All
Let's
right.
go first.
I was not prepared to go first. Okay. Tyler Perry movies.
Woo! He came out hot.
It's hot.
Oh, God. Okay.
Ooh.
I'm stumped.
I
don't like Medea. I don't like Medea movies, but I like a lot of his other movies. A lot of his other movies, sometimes they get preachy.
Yes.
Sometimes they're way too long.
Yes.
But sometimes they have really good lessons.
So what are you putting that on the category of? Because I said Tyler Perry movies in general. So.
God.
And that includes the Madea Boo Halloween.
If we had to, the trash.
That was fast.
My daughter loves Madea too, but Madea just annoys the fuck out of me. So
Same.
I used to love Madea so much.
I mean, I think they're funny to a point,
really
but they're
good.
annoying.
I'm saying trash.
I'm saying trash.
Oh, that was easy.
But, well,
Nope.
that didn't.
No.
Oh, they're not for me. I don't.
They're
not a
not
fan.
for me.
Fair enough. So we
They're
just gonna
not
say
for
that's
me.
a trash. That's
I
a
do
trash.
like the more
Before trash.
serious ones,
Right.
though. Like when he was in the bath. Okay, we won't get into it. Go. Okay, Rob.
Self-checkout lines.
Oh, trash.
Trash.
I'm a union shop steward.
See, that's where I'm at. But, okay, I say trash, but do you still use them?
Sometimes.
I use them to steal.
Well, sometimes you
that's
have
nice.
to.
I like that. Use them to steal.
I work for the state, so I would never admit that.
Allison never said that she stole.
So the kids like to go, even when they have a big order, they still go to the self-checkout
So your
line.
kids are thieves.
No, but then like the one time they told me about the clerk was like, no, y'all need to go to they got onto him like
Every store has different rules.
right. I'm like, it should be your prerogative to
Yeah,
do
but
what you
like
like.
Walmart, I've heard, I don't do a lot of shopping anymore. But I've heard that like Walmart at night, they only have self-checkout open and stuff like that. I'm a union shop steward. I am pro-labor.
No, yes.
So
that's where I'm at too on it. I say trash, and that's too because me being a union guy, it's taken away too many jobs. It's also taken away the social aspect of like interactions. You know,
the human interaction of standing in a line at Walmart for 40 minutes and talking to the people.
and then talk,
Irritated, yeah.
You sound
No,
so
I get
excited
that.
about that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, I could understand maybe self-checkout for like 5 items or less.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the idea of self-checkout, which does that also include like these new McDonald's that have like nobody working there and shit like that? Like, I think that's where we're going with that. And I think that that's insane.
Yeah, we want people to have jobs, but we're taking them away. Yeah.
Taking them away.
For me, that's easy trash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Nuq?
It's complicated. I did lose my first job. My first job I ever had was a bagger at a grocery store, and when they added the self-check, they kind of stopped coming to us, so we didn't really get to do anything. I did lose that job, but I am very introverted, and I don't like talking to strangers, so I always go to self-checkout almost every time because I don't want to talk to anybody.
I don't do it.
So
I think it's fair.
I guess
Don't do
dope,
it.
but
Okay.
I see the problem with them, though.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah, that's what
it's Chick-fil-A effect. So,
Yeah,
like,
no.
I get why people don't eat there, but, like,
Yeah.
once in a while, I eat there. Okay. Well, I wasn't going to do this one, but I'm going to do it since we're on the same lines. Getting rid of plastic bags at the grocery store, at any store.
Trash.
And it's tragic.
I hate that.
You hate that they got rid of them?
I hate that they got rid of them. And that because I use fucking paper bags in my job now, and them shits rip so fucking easy. Like, bring me back to the plastic. It was more durable. I just think and the fact that they charge for bags now, I think that's really dumb. Like, I feel like when it was like the free plastic bags, life was so much easier. Who the fuck wants to pay 8 cents for 3 paper bags or the hard ones now? I don't know. It just seems stupid. Or bring your own bag. It just feels dumb. So trash.
I think it's trash also. And like, if you're not having a plastic bag, what are you using for your little trash cans?
Come on.
You know?
Do you
That's where I struggle. Like, I realize they're good for the environment. I also always have the reusable bags in my car, which of course I forget every single time.
You'd be inside and then be like, oh man.
And now I have to buy rolls of bags for my trash can, for my bathroom trash cans, because I was religious about using them in my bathroom trash can. So really, I'm still buying plastic bags. I'm just buying it on a roll at Walgreens or wherever, Fred Meyer, instead of just reusing the bags that my milk came in. So when it comes to the environment, I don't know that we're better off. I think It'd be really awesome if there was a neon sign in the parking lot that said, don't forget your fucking bags.
Yes.
And then I might feel differently. But again, at my home, we have a lot of little trash cans. And now I'm buying them off of Amazon.
When
or
you would
whatever.
have used them. So now, in a sense, you would have been recycling them.
Absolutely.
Because you would have been using them at least twice or 3 times. They would have got 3 times use for one bag.
I wonder what the data is behind people who bring home 12 bags from Safeway and then throw those bags in the trash.
Yeah.
I just don't think they do. I don't think people do. I think people usually save their bags to use them for other things. And so now I don't have those bags. So now I'm buying a roll of bags off of Amazon.
To do those same things.
To do the...
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
So I think generally it's trash because I don't think you're actually saving the environment. We're just buying the bags elsewhere.
All right. So trash. What do you think, Nuk?
Big trash. I hate that. I hate paper bags. I hate that I have to take more than one trip to go from my car to my house when I get groceries because I can't carry more than 2. Period. You can't carry more than, it's too much. Some places have the biodegradable plastic ones.
True.
And they're stronger. So I don't understand why this is even happening. Why don't we just switch to biodegradable bags for everybody?
Can we just take a pause and just say, I never knew that Nuk was going to be that passionate.
Yeah, his passion just
3
all of a sudden came
episodes,
up.
and this is the most passion we've seen.
We talked about.
I'm very upset about it. Right?
The plastic bag
Big
episode.
trash.
Big trash. Swear to God.
He also has 2 kids, so I get it. He probably has a lot of groceries at his house. 2 teenagers, preteen and a teen. Okay,
Jeez.
round 2.
White rappers. I know I'm finna get a very mixed response.
Oh no, I'm gonna always say dope.
Okay, all right. I heard Robin over here grunting and shit.
No,
so
I
I'm
come
dope.
from. We're the generation of Eminem, but you know who I really love? I'm not gonna say Macklemore just to make you happy.
Don't.
I'm from the Bay Area, and G-Eazy is fucking nice.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
G-Eazy's
like
cool.
G-Eazy, and I love it because G-Eazy reminds me of me. He doesn't act black. He's a white dude who raps. You know what I'm saying? Like with his little 1950s, hairstyle and shit. Well, I don't know what he looks like now, but for a while he did.
Quick story about G-Eazy. I think it was cool. Back in the day when I used to drive for Uber, they did like this secret concert for him, and he came in town, and I got to drive. I got on the list to be the driver for that night. To pick up people that they had to do a special sign up.
That's dope.
It was kind of cool, and I didn't even know who he was.
I love G-Eazy. I think white rappers are fine.
I'm a Paul Wall because I'm from H-Town.
Of course, Paul Wall, right?
Of course, yeah.
And might be controversial, but I fucking love Jack Harlow. I'm not mad at him.
I love Jack Harlow.
I
was gonna say dope regardless. As soon as
we knew you were.
Okay,
we knew you were Ben.
Little Dicky.
Ben
Little Dicky, yes. Little Dicky, yes.
Dave.
Little Dicky, it's only 2 white rappers I really don't like.
Who? MGK.
Actually,
He's not a rapper.
He is again now.
MGK is everything. I don't mind MGK.
I like Machine Gun Kelly. I really do.
He is now because Jack Harlow called him out.
Right, and now he has to start rapping again.
Right.
The only 2 white rappers in history that I feel like I just cannot fuck with, Vanilla Ice, obviously. I feel like Vanilla Ice counts.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah, that counts. That counts. And honestly, Yellow Wolf. I fucking hate Yellow Wolf. I fucking hate Yellow Wolf.
I like Yellow Wolf.
I hate Yellow Wolf.
I'm not mad at Yellow Wolf. Yeah, I don't mind Yellow Wolf.
But anybody else, I love white rappers.
I took my niece to see Jack Harlow because she wanted to see Jack Harlow and she's 14. And it was Jack Harlow and the City Girls and it was at WAMU and it was lit.
Sounds lit.
It was really cool. And I don't know if it's a generational difference or if it's because of what happened with Travis Scott. But it was at WAMU and there was no seats, right? So me and the adults in the room were kind of hanging out in the back. But the kids were pushing forward like young people do. But every single time, both at the City Girls part and Jack Harlow, they stopped. They were make a way for security. They pulled in water, which I've seen my generation. I've seen them throw water out into the crowd when it's hot. But they literally, Jack Harlow probably stopped his concert 4 times. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
At least to there's, somebody needs help and not just ignoring that. And so again, I think it might have to do with what happened with the Travis Scott thing and being more safe. Jack Harlow just seems like a nice kid. I haven't watched White Man Can't Jump.
I refuse to watch that movie.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it because I heard it was really good.
I want to watch it.
I heard it was really good.
I refuse. I hate those kind of reboots.
No, I'm excited to watch it, but I just think Jack Harlow seems like a cool dude too.
No, he seems hella humble, and
so white rappers dope across the board.
I think so.
Dope over
Do
here.
you think so?
Dope. All right.
Okay, now the real question.
The real answer. Here we go.
We'll see how passionate he gets because he's a music producer, so he makes beats.
I do it all. I've always felt like if you earn your stripes musically, then you earn your stripes. It don't matter what color you are, but
period.
Boom.
Period. There it goes.
As long as you understand the game that you're playing, like if you know what it is when you're in this business, that people are gonna look at you and you're gonna get judged harder than anybody else is because you're in this sport that didn't like originate with you. So like as long as you know that and you can hang with everybody else, I don't care, whatever.
I love it.
I respect that. That's a good answer.
Honestly, that's how I feel about comedy. I'm old and I'm fat. And those two things right there as a woman, like those two things, I'm going to have to be funnier than other people because
fair enough.
People will already judge me. Mm-hmm. And there's some older women who are also big girls, both famous and local, that are great and that are fantastic. Or one of them is not so great, but she's famous. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. She's very funny as a human. I hear she sucks, but I don't even know her. We're not going to name her.
Okay.
But everyone who's listening will know. Anyways.
Fair enough.
But that person, although we don't know each other, that person gives me hope because they're an older woman. They started later in life. They're a big girl, but they're doing big things. So it's like that same kind of thing. Like I know what it is. I know what all these skinny little blonde, girls and
big breasted,
pretty brunettes and whatever. Like, they're gonna. I know what it is. So that. Thank you for saying that, Nook, because that reminds me of my comedy journey and where I am with that. You know what I'm saying? So we like white rappers.
Yeah, white rappers. Okay.
White rappers won. That was the only thing that was said dope about, by the way, too. No one else.
G-Eazy could get it. Anyways.
Okay.
Gerald.
I
don't even like white boys, but
fair.
Yes. My turn?
Yes.
Escape rooms.
I've never done one. I've never done one, but I would have to be very selective about who the fuck went in there because I'd be like, I would not be friends with those people by the end, I think.
I just think that's
unless they were all smart. Stupid people, I'd be like, it's under the red fucking book. It's right there in front of your feet. Like, I don't have tolerance for that.
I just don't have good problem solving skills. So
keep it 100.
Yeah, that's about as 100's gonna get from me. I don't have.
Then it brings out the dumb in you. Like everybody realize how dumb you are.
Yeah, no, dead ass. Everybody realize how dumb you are, and then you just be like, "Damn, well, shit. I didn't ask to be up in this motherfucker anyway. You invited me to this." And so, yeah, I fucking hate escape rooms. I think that shit's
trash.
I would like to do it again. I've done it one time. I'd like to do it one more time. But overall, I say trash.
No.
Again, I'm pretty introverted, so I don't like being around people like that. I'm a one player kind of guy, So actually going somewhere to do that is a little tough for me. But like I like where the escape rooms came from was like cell phone video games. I used to play a lot of those escape room games.
Oh yeah,
I like those. Those are fun.
Fair. You're about to have a baby, which means you're about to have a toddler, which means your own house is about to be in escape rooms. Put the fucking Legos by the door. Plus you have teens too? Oh yeah, you're never going to get out of your house again. Oh my God, pick up these fucking skateboards. Okay, so we all said trash.
Yeah, we all said trash.
Edgelord comics.
Oh, fuck. All right, trash. I think if you're funny, you're funny, but you don't need to be.
Do you want to explain what edgelord means?
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't even know what edgelord means.
I need a definition, but I'm a.
You want me to explain?
Yeah,
okay,
explain the definition.
So edgelord comics are like comics that say shit just to be intentionally like rude or to like not to be rude, but to like get get a negative reaction out of people.
Oh, you're talking about like heel comics. Like comics that literally say shit to get a negative reaction. Like
yeah, basically.
heels.
Yeah.
Yes.
So edgelord comics like think it's cool to say like the F word about gay people.
Or the R word.
Use the R word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they think, oh, it's funny or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Trash.
I think if you're funny, you can be funny without.
Right. I feel like those are crutches. Like it's literally a crutch. It's like because you know you're gonna get a reaction if you say the R word or you say the F word.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're gonna get a reaction. So it's kind of just like you're depending on that to be your life vest. And so I feel like that's trash.
Yeah.
It's
I
very
have seen Sam Morril. He actually has a special out right now, his newest special. And he talks about like Nazis and he talks about some things that are pretty like edgy, but he does it in a way that's funny. I've heard people say you could talk about anything and make it funny. There's still, you know, I don't know. I think you can talk about, you know, the R word's a big thing for me because my daughter's special needs and because I work with people with special needs. I don't think that you could ever use the word and it would be funny to me. But can you talk about people with special needs and make it funny? Yeah, I've seen people do that. You know, Sam Morril talks about Nazis and he talks about some pretty edgy things, but he knows how to make it funny. I just think newer comics or open micers or whatever you want to call them, when they're doing it, knowing that it's kind of like any reaction is a reaction, like you're trash.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that mindset. Like any reaction is good. Like, I don't know. It's
okay to push the edge, but if you get that reaction, figure out how to make it better. But they do it with the intent of not being funny.
Yes.
I'm more like I like a good turn where you think they're gonna go edgy.
Yeah.
And then they turn it the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think edgelord comics are trash.
Yeah, trash.
Nope.
I'm gonna say trash. That shit is corny.
Yeah.
This shit is comedy is an art form, man. If you don't respect it, it don't feel right.
I love you for that. Because that's exactly... Yes, you're right. You're right.
Trash across the board.
It's kind of like didn't we use mumble rap one time?
Yes, that was.
And that's kind of that same thing. And it's like...
Yeah.
Music that's the musical equivalent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
You have this sick ass beat and you just fucked it off with a bunch of like non-word words. What the fuck? Okay. I think that we're at the end, which is is like just a wrap up. So
okay.
What do you think about having our first guest, Rob?
I am glad to have you, JoJo, on this podcast as our first guest.
Thank you. I appreciate both you guys for even inviting me and thinking of me in the way to even have me here. So this was fucking amazing. Thank you. I feel so like I learned a lot. And I feel like I know you guys a lot better than I knew you guys before. I feel like I knew you, Allison, but I ain't know you.
Awesome.
And so I feel like I have a better grasp of you now. And then Rob, we've never really had a conversation before. Like not like an actual like verbal for real conversation.
It's like good set.
Yeah. We had the good set, the fist bump and shit. But we never had like an actual like full set formed conversation. So this was really nice. This is.
Do you have anything? So just so everybody knows, this is our third episode. We are planning on putting on our first episode, hopefully this coming Monday, which is, I don't know what day, the 12th?
June 12th, yes.
So we're trying to put it out on Mondays. I think we might do every 2 weeks to start.
It's whatever.
I don't know. We need to get some sponsors just because it's kind of expensive. So, so this third episode will either come out at the end of June or maybe beginning of July. But you are our first guest, and thank you, Rob. I think that JoJo was a great suggestion. And it was nice to get to know you better too.
Well, yeah, this was dope. I'm glad I got to share that information with you guys, and
I just, I really hope that people, more people can be exposed to you and that more people can like realize that you are authentically just JoJo is JoJo and you're not trying too hard and you are you're everything. I think you're dope. So, and I can't wait to watch you grow because you're very young. 30 is not very old. So,
yeah.
Thank you for saying that because I be feeling old as fuck.
No.
I work with a bunch of kids that don't even know what 9/11 is. Like they were not born when 9/11 happened. And so like I'll be making 9/11 jokes as one does. And they'll be like,
Edgelord.
and they'll be like, what the fuck is that? And I'm just like, you don't remember being in school and then rolling out the TV? And it's like, look at 9/11.
Oh, yeah, because you were very little. That's how I feel about the Explorer. The Challenger exploding. That's exactly what happened. Are you familiar with the Challenger?
No,
that was
the Challenger.
That was a NASA mission, and it was huge. And the first woman was going to space, and that's what they did. They rolled the TVs in. I was at Olander Elementary in San Jose, California. They rolled that bitch in, and we watched it, and that thing went up and fucking exploded. And everyone died.
And you were like, what kind of movie
I was
is
in
this?
like second grade.
Oh,
so
God.
like your 9/11 was like is our Challenger explosion. That was insane. But yeah, I think I'm really glad that you were our first guest. Pride Month or otherwise. Like more people should know you because you're really dope.
Yeah.
I appreciate
you're
that.
really
Thank
dope.
you
And I
for
think
real.
people are afraid of things they don't understand. And you could be easily misunderstood. So
People be scared to talk to me. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but people really don't be trying to talk to me for real. And I'm
I can
just
see
like,
that.
Yeah.
motherfucker, shit. What you think? I'm
I
gonna
can
suck your
see
dick or something? Like,
Well, I think that sometimes
right? Shut the fuck up.
I think sometimes that people
I mean, 20
people
bucks.
that they think are in the same box as you are unapproachable. I think sometimes that's their vibe is unapproachable. So I think that you don't have that vibe, but if people assume that you are, then they won't. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also don't think it's your job to be like, hey, everybody, I'm fun to talk to.
Right, right.
Like
I agree.
So I think this coming on here, there'll be at least 8 people that will probably listen to our podcast and they'll know more about you.
Well, there we go.
More people.
Katie, I'll make my kid listen to it, and 6 more people. So, but thank you for being our first
And all
guest.
3 people I know, so that's like 12 altogether.
Dang,
So this is gonna come out like I said, end of June, beginning of July. Do you have anything big for the summer? Anything coming up?
I have a couple shows coming up towards the end of June. I actually wrote them down because I was like, I know this part was coming, so I will say
So
them.
either he'll just about to be going, or just have it
Or they'll
done.
be happening, yes. I actually have a couple of shows with you guys with the Open Mic Collective that I'm going to shout out right now. I have a show at Hannah's on June 19th. That's a Monday. I have another show at Spuzz on June 20th. And then I will be opening at Tacoma Comedy Club on June 21st.
Oh, wait, let's talk about that one at Spuds, because that's the audition's name.
Oh.
So that's a 10-minute set.
Oh.
I'm glad that he reads the fucking emails that we send.
I don't be reading all the email.
So one of the things that we do at the collective is we have different themes at different places sometimes, and the auditions are people that we think probably have 10 minutes. And when we actually were making the lists, there was 4 of us that make the lists usually, and you were one of the people we picked because you're a good storyteller, and so you'll have 10 minutes. So that's more than the normal 5. So. So come see him at Spuds in Tacoma.
And I definitely have 10 minutes for show. For show lay.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing the Fresh Cup of Comedy at Bob's Java Jive on June 24th.
Oh, yeah. That's a show, right? On a Saturday? Yeah, support that.
Yeah.
Support that. What do you have going on?
I'm at Coco Joe's this Saturday for Tony Peters. And then I'm featuring Shanghai Room next Friday, June 16th.
Is that the Father's Day show?
No, I'm not on the Father's Day show.
Oh, that's the next day? Okay.
Next week. He's doing the Father's Day show on June 10th, which is I'll be at Coco Joe's.
Oh, that's this week.
Yeah,
June 10th is this week. Okay, got it.
I don't know offhand about July. So
That's fair.
that's not, no.
As far as comedy is going, I don't know. I have a union convention. Oh, I'm hosting a Vinifera at the end of this month, which is in Auburn on Friday, the 25th, I think, that Friday.
I know I'll be at Vinifera also August 11th. That's a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're featuring. I mean, you're the guest
opening,
there. Yeah. So I'm hosting it for Vinifera at the end of June. I also have a union convention that weekend, and then I have a funeral. I'm going home to San Jose for my friend's funeral that I was talking about. My cousin, my play cousin. And then at the end of July, I'm doing the Dope Show Spokane. The 29th of July. So if you're in Spokane, come and holler at me. I'm trying to pick up some Spokane Comedy Club hosting. I talked to the booker to see if maybe he'll let me host while I'm out there because there's other shows going on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know as far as that is concerned. And then just trying to get through the summer.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge summer fan. And last year I traveled so much I ate up a lot of my vacation time. So I'm a little more limited this year.
Gotcha.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm gonna be a good mom. Watch my kid play softball. Shit like that.
All right. I guess let's wrap up.
All right. That's episode 3 in the books. So we'll see you, old heads, young minds. Shout out to our guest, Jojo Blacco.
Love, peace, chicken grease.
Peace out.
All that.